na urge watu, like, let us just focus, because mliona juzi economy is doing bad. So like right now they wanataka kupandisha tax ya VAT. I think in Kenya, I think we are paying more. We are among the countries paying high VAT. So some countries, it depends from what I heard from someone alikuwa ananiambia, but as it is tunalipa mingi at that 16%, bado tunalipa mingi. So some countries they are at 12, 14, so we are at 16. So when it increases to 18, it's something else. So according to statistics, that will lead to like around 4 million people to like live below $1 in Kenya. Apart from that, of course, you all know that the companies also will shut down. As in, the point is, when you raise taxes, you don't collect more, you collect less. Because now, taxes are too high and people cannot afford. I know you people understand the logics. Na sasa hii same government, together with the body and so-called the experts, walituambia sometime last year that the economy is doing well, which we said no, because we were the ones who should have told them that, right, you have done a good job and the economy is low. So like saizi, watu wanafaa tu kupushi hashtag ya reject 2025 finance bill. Already tuna push the hashtag, but we'll appreciate kama nyi wote mnaipush, because hizo taxes zenye tulikuwa tumereject in 2024 zimekuja tena, but wamechange tu majina. Like hawa watu wanafikirianga tu si ni mafala sijui. I don't know how they take us to be, but what they take us to be, but really they think we are fools. So like wamechange tu majina, wakachange majina, but they are the same thing. So push tu pale hashtag hiyo ya finance bill. Alafu PP, I'm sorry, I want to use your platform for advert if you allow me kindly. By the way, book yangu nitakuletea, kata si you are my friend, na the book is it's affordable at 1,200. So hiyo tutaongea pale inbox. But again, nilikuwa naomba tu wenye wako kwa hii space hizi, kuna app inaitwa Akinyi app, ni parental app. So hiyo app, we kama ni mzazi pale ama you have a child mwenye ana struggle with disabilities, hiyo app is the best app for you. Parents are there sharing their stories, their experiences, and you can learn from it a lot, and you can also earn from it. So yes, kama unatafuta ka job kidogo, unaweza tu pale download the Akinyi app, ufanye kazi hapo, tuandikie stories, and especially if you're good in writing articles, it can be good for you. Share your experiences so that other people can also learn, and it will be good. Asante sana Pipita, let me go back to work. It's lovely speaking to you, and good evening.
Asante sana Grace Olwande. Next time nitakutumia bill wewe. Bill ya marketing wewe nitakutumia. But thank you so much Olwande. The reason why nimekuacha ufanye hivyo ni kwa sababu wewe ni shabiki wetu sugu. Bionic was talking about our YouTube. HRWP is the channel. We have a new video that is out actually, that came out yesterday, featuring Wakili Waigwa Peter. So just search Home Run with Pipita or HRWP and you will find it on YouTube, and check out. We have very many videos on that channel, including Grace Olwande. And of course, I see Kirer Part here with us. I'm going to go to Kirer, then Wanjiko, as you are coming towards the tail end of this space. Why am I taking 20 days? It's exactly what Olwande is saying. I need to reset, nichukue nguvu yangu yote, reconnect, reconfigure, and then go back for full force kwenye kazi yetu. Na ndio hiyo shughuli ambayo sasa hii inanisumbua, kwamba nimerealize kwamba nchi yetu imekuwa kwa mikono ya masimba. And I have been fighting for our social justice for the past 1 year without rest. 2 years actually, on since July of 2023, and we are headed for another finance bill, and I'm sure that we're going to have a very heavy discourse on it. So I want to be very much prepared, akili fresh. Nikikuja hiyo kutoka hiyo holiday, hakuna kwenda safari yoyote tena ingine, ni kazi 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 kazi. More YouTube, more X spaces, and of course probably a new live shows also on the way. But of course challenge yetu inaendelea, naona tumefika 100. Aya, tukikuwa watu 100, kila mtu wake 100. So naona nimepata pesa ya kwenda kukula madafu kwenye holiday. Marketing skills zangu siku hizi ziko chini. Kiran, how are you doing?
Hey, Pipe, good evening.
Good evening. You good?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to hear from you. Yeah, you need as a leaver. Olwande is saying 20 weeks, and I'm sure she gets 30 paid leave per year. So I think you at 20, you're being kind on us as well. So please take your rest. Usi, do not. You're saying you're going to delete your ex. No, tuka tululu na weke sim kaduko, and you keep your smartphone mpaka urudi. That's the best way to disconnect. Yeah. But anyway, wishing you a good rest. Go take some good hair there. Kuja ka umenona. Yeah. Eat some good food. Do some more research. I'm sure. Yeah, you will never stop learning, which is a good thing. Now on the discourse, Wamunyoro Chronicles. I did watch that thing today. Actually, I did get some time to catch up with it, and a few comments on my side. Not really on the content. The content is it's what you want. It's the narrative you want to believe in. That is how you will look at it. So if it excited you, it means that was the narrative you were looking for. If it didn't excite you, that is the narrative you don't want to hear. So it's really that way. It's not that was not it was not a truth barometer in any sense. So it's basically what tickle your fancy. Yeah. So if you're really excited about it, it basically ticks your boxes. Yeah. And one thing about yellow journalism is basically the audience type, right? To me, what was appealing really was we have seen interviews before. We have seen political interviews before. Yesterday was more of a platform. Yeah. To a point, I felt the interviewer was helping him with more points. Even completing sentences for him. And I said, okay, yeah, that's journalism for us, right? And it was a coincidence. Is the Standard Group, which has got one of the leading headlines nowadays, hitting on government. So yeah, you choose your mode. Yeah, it serves your purpose at the end of the day. It's not an interview that was to inform Kenyans of anything. It wasn't. If you think the guy was coming to rescue you, yeah, sorry, it wasn't. It's a point for it was an avenue for him to get back politically, to score some political points. So if you think it was a saving grace, you might need to think again, or you probably don't understand politics that well. So it wasn't that. Secondly, now just that was on the fundamental of the entire architecture of that interview, right? So that was it. There's always it's called AIDA model, right? There's attention, interest, desire, and then you go to the action of it. So that was the order of which it went by, according to me. Right? Listen, it's my own critique of it. On what was said and what was not said, or they have truths, half lies. If you have 5 truths and 5 lies that are political operatives, if I'm against something, I'll make sure they're 10 half. Right? I will not say the 5 truths and the 5 lies. No, I will blend it to make sure they are all lies. Yeah. If I'm on the other side, I'll make sure they're also 10, but they are all lies, right? Pro anti. So you are not expecting him to come there and say, actually, yeah, those fertilizers, it wasn't a bad program, but we had a 5 to 10% fertilizer infiltration, but the other 90% was good. They will never say that, right? So I bought fertilizer myself. I think maybe I was lucky. I never got the fake ones, yeah, because I did buy quite some volume from it, and I think I was good with it. Production-wise, I didn't complain. So that was one bit of it. The entire expose, listen, it's politics. Okay, I think Western, I was listening earlier, and Western was asking, okay, as the good man, or the man who was, he has had the Damascus moment, turning from Saul to Paul. As he come back and say, okay, guys, so even me, I made money through very scrupulous ways. I'm giving it back to you. Asset Recovery Commission, take this money. I didn't make it the right way because I've seen the president is also making it through the wrong ways, and I don't want. I've had a change of heart. So please take this money away from me. I'm okay to contribute. I mean, at some point you were saying, okay, you're giving me 2 billion, 8 billion. I don't want that kind of money. You know the kind of money I have. I said, okay, well, good. That's good for good to know, right? And government, and it boils down all the way to your county government, and it's just that is on the highest level of it probably in the country. But if you go down even all the way to your ward level, your local MCA, the contracts being done there, your MCAs, your local contractor is the one awarding the roads. Your MP is doing the same, building schools. He is the contractor. A bill of quantities is a high events, and I can tell you for free, amongst all of us here, if Pipi, someone who works at the county government, he gives you a call right now. Listen, Pipi, I want 1,000 thick pens tomorrow. Are you able to supply? Don't worry, I'll give you the money. I don't want it to be done under my name. Can you do it? One pen is 50 bucks, but I want you to quote 200. Can you do that and send it to me right now? Are you going to say no? I'm not going to be part of that, or you're going to grab the opportunity and run away with it? So that is deal making in government. That's how it works, and it's national all the way down. Now this is a guy, Rigiji, who has made his money through deals. He has gone to the highest level. He has sat on those tables. He has seen the amount of billions, leave alone millions. Millions is now loose change there. He has seen the billions crossing around the table, signings and stuff like that. And then suddenly he's no longer part of it. He's not going to be going home singing Kumbaya. Forget it. He won't, right? And I think we've mentioned here, he went to court. The son of Mau even collapsed in Senate before cross-examination. So, yeah, he's seen it. And I'm sure whenever he sleeps at night, he's just squinching and thinking, what a lost opportunity it was for me to increase my wealth. He's now seeing President Ruto doing the same. So both, listen, there are no angels between the both. They are all on the same pot. And it's interesting again, Kenyans, we are an interesting lot as a society. We like sensationalism. It's our dose of it. One funny story I actually think is I remember during the BBI campaigns, there was one team that was really inside it. I remember even the Bomas of Kenya when the current president was facing fire. He actually described it as facing his demons, and everyone was exhilarated about BBI. And then only for the courts to squash it, and then that went down the drain. It's okay, but we had our moment, right? All right. The Supreme Court of the hearing, and then she came out with this Jose Mago thing. She almost broke the internet with that submission. The internet basically broke in Kenya. Now for Mahat to come for the counter submission and say, okay, this was a superimposition. Actually, this is a Photoshop page, and then bring the entire thing down again. Now we end up all looking like donkeys eventually. We were all up there screaming, yeah, we told you. And then all of a sudden, again, someone comes and refutes it, and then, we all look, okay, but we had our moment. Okay. The same thing is happening all over again. We are all looking for those exhilarating moments, those viral moments to make it happen. If fundamentally, do we actually want change? Yeah, there's some glimpse and hope of it. Yeah, there is some bit of it. I think Olwande was saying, yeah, I'm a chokana siasa. And I think we have had this discussion before. A lot of us thought it's going to be a sprint. Hell no, it's a marathon. If you thought you were going to fix it by December, no, it's not instant coffee. Progress and change will take time. We are going to sweat it out eventually. And if you thought it was going, we have had people, no, he must go now. Yeah. Now, conversations today was, well, he must be impeached. And then now by next week, you'll start losing hope because he has not been impeached. And then, he must go 2027. Probably he doesn't go. And then you say, oh, shit, we're done. Sorry, excuse my French. And then now, because we don't have that protracted approach, that long-term out vision of it, right? We are not thinking about how do we even churn out politicians from the local level right now, starting from our local MCAs, our local MPs. How do we make sure this coming parliament we put a lot of people in there who are progressive? Because this president didn't start politics last year. He didn't start politics the year before the election. He's been doing it for the last 30 years for him to get to presidency 30 years later. But as we want to fix it in 1 year, we want to fix it in an election cycle, we want to fix it in 5 years, it won't work, I'm sorry, right? And if we are not going down there to cultivate that, it's like, it's usually called a talent pool. It's like a lot of us watch football. There are scouts who go out to even the remotest bit of West Africa. All clubs have got scouts. You scout all the talent, take them to academies, take them to your second tier, take them all the way, By the time you're going to the Premier League, the A League to the First League, it's been a process. It's a funnel. Basically, you're on the top of the pyramid, but you have built a very huge base down there that you grow it up. But as someone inverted, don't build at the bottom. It's an inverted pyramid. We don't build at the bottom, but we expect the best at the top. It doesn't listen. It doesn't even logic dictates. It doesn't work like that. And again, suddenly Wamunyoro is a savior. If I remember well, during the campaigns or heading up to the election, between the pair, actually, between Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, I think Rigathi Gachagua is the one who got the most flock. He was like the weakest link between the two. I mean, ODM guys were having a run. I think Bionic mentioned something. I understand what it means. It's a bit unpalatable, really, especially if you're having dinner right now. Yeah, I mean, he was that guy was getting the stick, right? And then suddenly he is the savior of the pair. So the worst one, is becoming the best one at the moment. So the long short of it, it's, I think I had Weston submitting something over the weekend about the alligator telling you the crocodile is sick, right? And he just ran out of the water and told you the crocodile inside there is sick. No, that's not a press conference you should be attending, because that is a survival tactic. Yeah, the alligator, they're both predators, so they are up to something. There's something happening in there, and the alligator probably is the one losing the battle, and he wants to paint the other one stuck down there. So we all revolt against the crocodile, kill it, and then now the alligator eats all of us eventually. So ponder about it. That was not something to get truth from. No, sensationalism, it has worked. Probably we are discussing it now. So again, that's journalism. And in Kenya, we got our our weekly dose of adrenaline, or euphoria out of it, euphoria. So, but again, it's not something I'm going to take to the bank. Yeah, and my rallying call, and I think this is something we need to really focus on. Let's build that base. Let's build and keep pushing it up. Let's have 10 best good governors. Let's have our senators. Let's have very good MPs, MCAs. Build it up. Because actually there are some very many key wins at the bottom there. We're just fixated at the top. I don't know why. Probably we grew up more in Baba na Mama, so we are still. Actually, devolution, I think a lot of us don't even. It's yet to really sink into us what devolution is. We actually don't even understand, right? Do you actually know your county has got a finance bill? I don't know if you understand even to that level. Do you know they work with a budget? Have you ever asked your MCA? Okay, now the budget. Some even get what development fund. Have you ever asked even your local MCA what are you doing this money for? Yeah, what are you using it for? The PFM Act, how does it get it on the base level? We are cutting the tree from the branches. That tree will keep sprouting and growing. Thank you, people.
Asante sana Kirer for that submission. Naona Wanjiru ako hapa hivi na sisi. How are you doing Wanjiku? Shiko.
Poa sana Pipita. Nilikuwa nimeshtuka unasema una hang the boots. We. This is the home bana. Home run with Pipita. Then iishe itakuwaje?
Haiwezi isha, tuko hapa.
Okay, sawa. Today I'll be quite brief about the topic regarding Wamunyoro. It's a very sensational topic, because Wamunyoro is like a chameleon. He's able to adapt depending on the location. Looking back, he's someone we have known. Wamunyoro is from my home area from Mathira constituent, but I'm not sure I can advocate for his leadership for one reason or the other. In 2.5 years, we have a compendium of how this guy can be given that mantle of leadership. Those 2 years, we really experienced a very archaic person in that position of deputy president. Yani bado alikuwa na ile ODO akiwa kwa ofisi. And you really wonder, looking at now, when I sit down and ask myself, what could be wrong with a person that had so many friends, but after 2 years he was kind of isolated? There must be something terribly wrong with him. Their friends have never told us clearly what went wrong. But looking from a different perspective, you can pinpoint and try to understand the type of a person he is. During the demonstrations, he was very stringent and saying that my youth will wawe. Although he didn't say it directly, but when I give an example with the demonstrations that were happening in Karatina, he sent a report there that those youths must be arrested, and some were arrested and some disappeared. Nairobi and Karatina demonstrations were quite a sad story. People were shot, children were shot, women were shot, elderly people were shot indiscriminately, just because he advised the police to go brutal with the demonstrators. So from my own perspective, I can understand what kind of a person he is. When we look back, before the demonstrations, 70% of Kenyans had already moved away from. So this person cannot come now and try to tell us he's now showing us the way. We had already moved from Ruto. So he's not our savior. He should let us tell him which direction we want to go. He's suffering from maybe what I can call a collective amnesia, and he needs some treatment. Listening to his interview yesterday night, although I didn't have enough time to watch it all, but clearly this is a person who has an agenda. He has a background in political science. So he's quite strategic. He has a clear purpose on what he wants to do. This person wants to run for presidency. He was asked whether he's considering running for the seat, and he said the options are open, and the constitution does not the constitution does not deny him from running from any position, and he has not exhausted all the legal procedures, and he has not begun. So looking from yesterday, I came to understand that this person wants to run for office, for the higher office. Few people do you imagine having Wamunyoro as the president, really? Really? Hiyo nayo hapana. Now that one is like coming from hot fire now to ile kuchomwa na petrol. This is someone who does not even believe in women leadership. You can look at example of all the appointees that he has always fronted. None are women. He only fronts men. He does not believe in women leadership. I think he has a very retrogressive mind and quite archaic, that he thinks a woman place is in the kitchen, ama kumuimbia, piga hizo kelele, but not in leadership. And if you look at his circle, he does not have women. So we are in 21st century. How do you how can you front such a person who does not believe in women leadership, really? It's terrible. And then he wants us to feel pity for him after he was impeached. Truly, do you think if he's in office today, he could be telling us all the things he's spilling? I think he's a mad person. Now he wants to get that sympathy as a stepping stone to have an audience and to give us now you can also look at yesterday. He had another tone, a very deafening tone. Those are strategics of a politician. He wants to create that audience. Maybe after now June atuambie sasa ako na chama, and he wants to run for president, and we must feel pity for him. Run for president, tumchague. Manze, what Kenya can we have? Really? And what does he stand for? Hata hizi interview nyingi zote. Has anyone ever understood what he stands for? Except hiyo kulialia mingi ama kusema alinyanyaswa. What does this person really stand for? You can never even understand. Yeah? So we need to look further. Sisi siyo mafala. I think I also believe maybe na sitaki kulazimisha watu. Wamunyoro is not the best choice. Regardless of hiyo sympathy watu wanamuonyesha, ikifika manzeni story ati kusema ati ana run for president, mi afadhali hata hiyo siku nilale kama hakutakuwa na option nyingine. Ati ikuwe sasa pale ni Wamunyoro versus Ruto. Afadhali sijui nimeze hiyo kura yangu lakini sioni. So look, ukienda manze hiyo holiday yako, go for that sabbatical leave, enjoy yourself, come back rejuvenated with more topics, and we'll be looking forward to discussing more. Leo I'll be brief. Have a good evening. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Shiro, for that. I see Japonji has raised his hand and also Rasji Palevi. I'm going to go to Japonji. And of course, just to remind you guys, you can send me off into this holiday with a good tip from you. Kwa kusema kwamba asante sana pipi kwa kutuweka vizuri hii mwaka yote. Nachukua holiday yangu for the first time in like 14 months. So yes, you can go into that tip jar line 0721948229 and drop your support if you have not yet. We have about 10-20 minutes before I call it a night and take this rest. Japonji.
Hey, people.
I can hear you.
People, for being there for us. I think this is one of the rare spaces whereby there is people are civilized or forced to, and it's one of the spaces whereby the rule of the law applies. You know, I've been to many spaces. All of us have been. And there is also no gatekeeping and all that. You know, everyone gets the mic and a fair share of conversation. Everyone also deserves a rest, Pipi, and I'm a very, very strong supporter. I advocate for rest. As a person who deals with health and fitness a lot, I always tell people that you only get the gains when you're resting. You know, that is when you do your detox also, your mind becomes clearer. So PP, it's well deserved. Go and do a reset. Go and do a detox, you know. Get offline, otherwise it will not be worth it. Go offline and enjoy your time there. You know, happiness is in the mind, you know. Figure out when you come back, we need you stronger and better. Having said that, I can see we are talking about, we are defining the character of Rigathi. I think we spoke about Rigathi a lot. We even forget how he got there, you know. And someone was talking about Rigathi being a tactician. There's something I wanted to go back a few steps and look at Ruto when he was the deputy president of Uhuru. Sorry, can you still hear me?
Ulikuwa umepotea kidogo, but you're back.
Okay. Someone was trying to call me. Let me know if I'm not audible. Just give me 100 if I'm audible.
You're audible. Continue.
Okay, thanks. So, Pipi, I was saying, take a step back and look at Rigathi when he was the deputy president. No, sorry, Ruto when he was the deputy president, and look at the pressure that he was under to resign and do all that, and Uhuru could not even fire him. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. There was a lot of pressure, and this guy, he was scheming. I think he was looking at that situation. You know, like if he was the president, how could he get rid of the, of the deputy, How would it play out? And then he realized when he got power that it's so easy. You just need to buy the members of parliament, and that is the sure way. That is what he was prompting all along, you know. So having gotten power, that is the first thing he did. He knew that after getting the parliament inside my pocket, then I can do what I want, you know. And that's exactly, so he was steps ahead. And the other thing is, you see, Rigathi is coming out, and there is this issue of, I don't know, separate the message from the messenger. No, to me, that's not how it works, you know. We are past that, you know, because if you look at if you look at how the way this guy was impeached, you know, this guy fought, even fainted. He ended up in the hospital, and he was even asked to resign, because to me personally, he could have gotten some political mileage to everyone nationally, not just in the mountain, if he could have just, you know, resigned and said, hey guys, listen, there is a plot against me, blah blah blah, and then people would be like, he would get even more sympathy than now. But this guy was physically forced out of the office, you know. He tried court order after court order to stop the, you know. Anyway, so whatever he comes after, you know, he can't say anything, you know. He can come up with anything. See, because he has that monopoly of in quotes truthfulness, you know. And if you are keen, Pipi, if you watch that interview, it's not even an interview. It was like a podcast, you know. So if you watch that, you will realize that there was nothing new. Pipi, and I can tell you, you name anything, and I think I had posted in the Jumbotron, whatever that guy was saying, and I was very keen yesterday because I wanted to see if there's something I missed before. Everything that he had said before, if you check this timeline, been here, I've been here. So you ask yourself, again, why or what does you know? So you are giving us information, you're giving us tea. You know, you see, Aoko gives us tea here on X. Alafu, she tells us whatever you want to do, that is up to you. It's the same thing. So this guy comes in, gives us quality tea, okay, whatever you call it, and then you ask yourself, and this is a question that it was not being asked, you know, by the interviewer, like, what exactly do you want us to do with this information? Because, and the other thing is, do you have like the evidence? You know, there are some things you don't just talk. Do you, even just by providing evidence, you don't need to speak, you know? And you realize that when one of the governors, Nairobi Governor Sonko, took that route, it didn't last. I don't know, Mike Sonko, even he had voice recordings and all that, and it was his own. I'm not saying that it was bad, but he tried that, you know. So there's something that people miss, the timing, you know, the timing. Because whatever Rigathi is doing now, ask yourself, is it sustainable? Can he keep doing this until 2027? What, did he even try to sell one policy? I mean, one manifesto or something that he can do for Kenyans? And was he like so clean, you know, that he's not part of it? Was it not like complicit in the same thing? You know, because you look at it, there are a lot of things that were not asked in that interview, you know, and it makes me wonder. And you see, the people who called him for interview, the Standard or KTN, if you look at their headlines for the last 2 weeks, after being denied, I think, advert space by government, they went, you know, hard. Whatever they're posting, would KTN have posted what they have been posting on headlines if they were not denied that those ad spaces by government? You know, so see, it's a compromise. The system is compromised. You know, it's you pat my back, I pat your back. You know, I don't know. There's something that is going on. You know, that you have to always step back, and also, you know, there is this thing of the goons. You know, I had someone talking about it, and it made me realize that we people look at things on the base level. You know, someone was saying, for most politicians, when elections are near, they always gain political mileage by creating even their own disturbance, their own goons to get that sympathy. You know, I'm not saying, I don't have any evidence that the goons were sent by anyone, but I'm just trying to tell you, you have to always look at the whole picture, you know. Because remember Sonko, people like Sonko who came out after being impeached saying that, oh, there was a time tuliambiwa tuchukue sewage tuweke kwa stadium. I don't know, ndio watu, we were told to do this, So if you're on the same analogy, you realize that these people, they do things, even hurt themselves, break their own, so they can gain that, they get that political advantage and mileage. So you ask again, back to the main question. What was the purpose of that interview? Does it change anything? And Ruto, does it change the perception of Ruto for people who already wanted him out? No, my stance is the same. Ruto must go. It's not because Rigathi spoke. Whatever he spoke about, can it be substantiated, in a court of law, and those are the things he needs to be asked. Because how do you see, for you to bring case against the government, and there's something I want you guys to look at it. Look at the circle, the circle of Ruto's administration. Look at someone like Itumbi. I've known Itumbi for some time, This is guy I've interacted with. This guy goes into he loves details. He likes things like he calls system facts on all this. These are the people who can do something and make sure hauna your evidence and you can speak. People, you can see someone being beaten there and you are a witness, and then you go and say, oh, I saw this, I saw this. They will counter that. So Wamunyoro, if he was ready to come and give tea or service with all this, he needs everything documented and ready, something that cannot be, cannot be doubted, Because, for example, Pipi, when he spoke about, this Sudanese leader, I don't know, who had been given sanctions. The sanctions only came after he was impeached, long after he was impeached, for example. But he was saying that he refused to meet this guy because he had sanctions from US. You see, that is what I'm talking about, Of course, we don't expect 100%. And also, a lot of things he was talking about were from the timeline. People, if you have been on this X platform, and you look at the time, like when he was talking about, I don't know, he was, Itumbi was saying he was bribed by, I don't know, 8 million, and Ruto is saying, I don't know, 10 billion. I mean, the numbers are different. That's what matters. And so he's saying, why can't they come together? And which means some of the information is just getting online, And then if he was wise the way he say he is, if I was impeached out of government and I have my sources within the government, I will not, their lives now are at risk, because do you think Ruto will sleep on that, Because you telling him on national TV that I have my sources inside your government, inside your house, So, and this is Ruto you are dealing with, that I have my sources inside that give me information firsthand, in NIS, in DCI, I have these people. Do you think that sits well with the president and the people that he has that work for him? For example, you see, if you want to keep getting the inside information, you don't sacrifice the source of your information. You don't expose them, on national television. To me, that is not wisdom. Because also us, we need this, we need chai, we need to be served. It's boring, the timelines are boring. We need something to talk about also. So PP, going forward, I just saw a clip now. It's going viral. I think 1 hour ago. Mbadi, the guy of money, mtu yetu ya pesa, being pushed out of red carpet by Farouk. I think he was passing through the red carpet to go to the dais where the president is supposed to sit. Ametolewa hapo kabisa na Farouk. Unaget? So, and then now it's like a big, and those are Ike's a lot. If you're those are small, so it shows they informed like consent. They have this privilege that even the vice president or DP does not have, So, Pipi, I know you will be back in 20 days, inshallah. And when you come back, trust you me, Pipi, we'll be still talking about this system and things that are happening. And nothing new, just same monkeys, different forest. And again, I hope by that time the IBC will be working, because I want to register. This time I want to register and vote at the embassy again. Thank you so much, everyone, and I wish you all the best, PP, Weston, Big Boss, Mofo, academia and everyone. Rasji, I wanted to ask Rasji, sorry, just 1 second. Rasji, I know you are vying for some seats, and I wanted to tell you, Rasji, if you understand how the politics of Kenya work, you can fight from within. And this is my Jabba advice. Join the winning team, go fight from inside, because that's a sure way. Rashji, from the way things are going now, because I don't see things changing, especially from the mountain and Nyanza there, get nominated to that party that they are forming in May. We ingia hapo ndani Rashji. You will change things from there. We ingia uko, force your way. You have a sure way of going to the parliament. And when you reach there, you can do whatever you want there. That is what is happening now. That's all, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Japonji, for that. And of course, definitely we'll try and have some fun pale hivi. Naona tuko na big boss hapa hivi ndani Rasji. Nataka tumalize before saa 3:30 kwa sababu na pia I need to pack my things nikijitayarisha safari yangu. Now, anaitwa Big Boss.
Nashukuru kaka. Unajua mengi aliniishia brother. Mengi tumeongea na kilichonileta hususan muda huu kutakia uendako. Mwenyezi Mungu akutangulie kwa kila jambo. Iwe heri. Tuachane kwa amani, tena tuje tukutane kwa amani inshallah. Hayo mengine yanayoendelea naweza sema tu kiufupi kama hayanihusu. Manake vita vya panzi, furaha kwa eneo fulani, na kinachoendelea ni vita fulani yenye ukianza kuiongelea na una elimu ya hicho kitu kiundani, mazungumzo yasiokuwa na elimu huwa ni kama ni kelele tu. Kaka, Mungu akutangulie kwa kila la heri, kwa kila upita. Inshallah tutakutana tena.
Asante sana Big Boss. Namwona Rasji ako hapa na sisi. Rasji.
Yes, Pepita. Give me like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, my brother. Then I'll be...
So while you're giving him 5 minutes, I'd like to just remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can always support these spaces. Pale viju 0721948229 is the number. But then unajua nimenotice siku moja nitakuja kuota na kuwekewa pesa kwa tipja. Nitakuwa tu niko 0721948229 is the tipja. Kujuzi nilipewa kazi na Mizani 254 nikaenda kuambia watu don't forget to Anyway, Western Shilaho, maybe give us your final words as you're coming towards the tail end of this conversation.
Pepita, I end by telling Japonj that if you are Ruto, you would not need to spend money to impeach Rigathi. Because remember their internal poll trying to look for Ruto's running mate. He got a measly 5 votes. 5. And there's no indication, no evidence that he built, the confidence of his peers within the UDA party. He did not. He remained a divisive figure. So what they waited for was the green light from William Ruto that you can go for the kill. I don't think he needed to buy anybody. He was already a divisive figure. He didn't have the confidence of his peers. They didn't think he had what it takes to be Ruto's running mate. But Ruto, understanding the undercurrents of politics, he knew that, if he picked Kindiki, well, he would not really fare badly, but he would not have wrapped up the Kikuyu vote. So that's why he picked him. He's just that pragmatic. So I don't think he needed to spend money to get rid of him. He Rigathi actually processed himself out of government. That is what it is.
The other thing is we don't look for good leaders. You know, I hear this about Maraga has not done anything bad, and you don't look for good leaders. You don't. In fact, you must be scared if you get somebody who is not a human being. The problem we have is that we have got politicians who don't own up their mistakes. That's the problem. We're dishonest. It's not like in other jurisdictions, they have got angels for leaders. They have got people who are corrupt, people are divisive, but those people must take responsibility when they are caught either with their hands in the public coffers or when they contravene deeply and cherished values within their respective societies. You must take moral responsibility, political responsibility. You're a minister of transport, for instance. A bus, causes an accident and there's carnage on the road. You resign because you can't say I was not driving the bus. You're not appointed to preside over carnage on roads. You're a minister of health. There's a scandal in the minister of health. You may not have anything to do with that scandal, but you take moral responsibility and you resign. We don't have this kind of people here. So we're not looking for angels. We're looking for good leaders. We're looking for human beings. And being a human being entails doing good and bad things. And when you do bad things, it's not that you do those bad things deliberately. You do those things because you're a human being. And when you're caught, you own up. We don't have those kind of people. So you can't vote for Maraga because he has not done anything bad. You vote for him because he's a human being. If he has done things that are bad, which he has not tried to run away from those things. And that will set him aside from, say, William Ruto. But it can't be Maraga has not done anything bad. And therefore, he's the ideal person. That would be a fantastic human being. What kind of a person is that? So we should strive to look for human beings, not angels, not saints. There are none. I talked about solution. No, it's not simplistic. Because as Japan said, if you look at an election as the solution to the problems we have, which are very protracted, clearly an election won't be a solution to the problem. If you think that what we need is an alternative political formation, and you couldn't care less about the character, the moral predisposition of the members of that political formation, clearly you don't understand the problem. You don't. You think there are quick fixes to the challenges we have. There are no quick fixes. If there were, we would not be on this space. We'd be doing our own things. There are none. That's the point we're making. And the point we're making is that if you think you can approach our politics from a binary position, you want to juxtapose good politicians against bad politicians, and you think that is the solution, I will remind you that history will prove you wrong. Because before, it was Yote Wezekana Bila Moi. People chanted that song in the run-up to 2002 elections. Yote Wezekana Bila Moi. That you just get rid of Moi, voila. We're home and dry. Our problems are over. Are they over? When did Moi stop being our president? When did he die? We're still here. And this propensity to engage in revisionism, no, please. One of the reasons why Moi ruled for 10 more years under multi-party democracy is because of people like Mwai Kibaki, whom we keep on praising here. Because Mwai Kibaki, when he resigned from Moi government, he did not join opposition forces. He went and formed his own party. And that divided the opposition votes and made it possible for Moi to win, during 92. Do people remember? It gave Moi 10 more years of sleaze, of corruption and what have you. And then himself, what did he do? I remind you what he did. What he did is what John Michuki told Kenyans. And I can see those characters here. That, look, you people are agitating for a new constitution. You people are complaining about corruption. Let's be honest with you. Michuki talking, a Kenyatta era government functionary. We were not interested in a new constitution. We were not interested in good governance. We were not interested in the rule of law. We were just making noise because Moi was in power. Now that Moi is out of power, and one of us, Kibaki, is in power, we're no longer interested in this thing. He said those things. There are people here during June last year who are telling the other Kenyans that, no, look, if this government collapses, William Ruto will go away alone. Regarding Gachagua as the deputy president will assume power. Some very crazy stuff. Why are you people listening? Crazy stuff. And these people are still around here. They're hiding behind genuine concerns and reasons that Kenya have with this government to pursue narrow ends. Narrow ends. So you can mobilize the rest of Kenyans and they believe, wow, everybody is opposed to William Ruto and wants a good Kenya. Okay, William Ruto goes home. They come into power. What do they tell you? They tell you what exactly Michuki told Kenyans. Give us more time. William Ruto destroyed this country. Give us more time. We need more time to fix this country. Before you realize 20 years, they haven't fixed anything. So that's what I mean by you can't ask for a solution before you conceptualize the problem. That's what I talk about. And if you think that quick fixes, quick solutions to our problems, probably we're high on Kool-Aid. High on Kool-Aid. We should be disabused of Kool-Aid. Probably. Because, as I keep saying, political transformation calls for intellectual labor. That's why liberation movements have got, some intellectual reservoir. People who do the thinking. What do we do? And how to strategize against this regime. But for us, we think hate is enough to get rid of a regime. We think just registering in big numbers is enough when we don't have a history of credible elections. That's characteristic of us being on Kool-Aid. I think we should disabuse ourselves of Kool-Aid and become realistic. And once we're realistic, we're going to see our challenges crystal clearly. And we can craft a crystal clear strategy to counter William Ruto. But as of now, we're reacting to him. And then we are fed on this emotionalism of a jilted lover. For that's what this Rigathi is, a jilted lover. And we think, okay, this guy can mobilize against William Ruto and prevail. No, he's a political parvenu. Rigathi is such a political parvenu. He's a rookie compared to William Ruto. He's a rookie. So if you align with Rigathi, thinking that he has got some rabbit in a hat and is going to pull it at the 11th hour and render William Ruto politically irrelevant, as they say, Peter Sailand, you are going to be entombed with the Kedeva. You will be entombed with the Kedeva. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Weston. Let's hear Kirer, final words.
Yeah, hi, Pepe. Following on what Weston just said, it's quite interesting, right? Because Mr. Rigathi Gachagua is a one-time MP. Now, tell me a president in Kenya who has been a one-time MP. I mean, history, right? If you're doing dynamic programming, you'll always be told, look back and, program into the future, right? Of course, there's disruptors along the way, but politics, disruption, we're yet to find that moment in Kenya. So we're just going to rely on past data, right? Just to really extrapolate and see. We're throwing a lot of new names as well into the game. These things, 80% of the voters, if you go to Twitter, for instance, 4 million Kenyans, how many of them vote? Actually, I'm disappointed. Japonji, you are the cause of the problem. You want to register as a voter right now. That means all the problems we have is because of you. You are the 8 million Kenyans, and you are here shouting. You are crying more than the bereaved. Japonji.
No. Kirer.
Okay.
I voted.
Okay.
Nilipoteza kura.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. You're accused from that. Now, with all these politics happening, Japonji, you did mention as well, right? When I think it was Joe Ageyo interviewing William Ruto just before the elections, asking him about William Ruto.
Still connected. Can get nobody.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah, and I remember Zubedi and the company telling him, "Oh, why did you do this?" And to the last minute, I mean, he was being grilled about that thing. He said that I almost slapped him when he said, "I want to go to Ichaweri, mambo staki tena." And then Ruto was saying, I stood him up, like, my friend, we cannot give up right now. Yeah, there's an injunction in court. Yes, tumetolewa Maraga and but we keep fighting. That tells you, even Uhuru himself, he was still a novice at that point politically, because he was just taken into government by Moi, went in 2002. What happened. Moi had to go with the entire of his of his cabal, and then it was only Kibaki who brought him back as the prime minister. Hague happened, and that's how he became president. So even with the Uhuru, who had almost 12, 15 years or thereabouts, by 2017, he was saying, no, this thing, the kitchen is too hot. I want to get out of the kitchen. I'm not going to cook this again. And now, if Wamunyoro, I think it was Wanjiku or someone was saying, he wants to run for presidency. Okay, all right. Well, I will leave that thought there. Because there's a lot. It's a structure. It's a structure that you build over time. And Japonji, you're mentioning that during his second term as the deputy president, when the BBI and all that was going on, and Maraga was really on his case. Yeah, I'm sure if he was to give us a candid interview about what they went through with Maraga, because I've had it with some people inside the circle saying it was brutal. It was really brutal, right? It was for him to really just down the tools and go home. I mean, insecurity was taken off. He was given AP, no more record squad, and then he took the AP for T, made content out of it. Yeah, welcoming them to Karen, saying, "Yeah, you're good." Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah. So if it was scheming in politics, that is what exactly he was doing. And I remember there is a video. He was speaking somewhere in Kalenjin land, Italian to be precise, some years during, I think, the first term, and he was saying, "Listen, if I run my mouth around, chasing Uru this, Uru that, do you think I'm going to be the president of this country? Look at what happened to Raila. He was ranting around. He doesn't have a toilet in Mombasa. Nusum kate, nusum keka. Where is he now?" And he was saying, listen, some things, and I think he was also telling this to Kalonzo at some point. At some point, you have to keep quiet, keep your cool, but do your math. Now, as we all discuss all this, we also need to understand. I think it was someone was mentioning about Ogola, General Ogola died because of something, blah blah blah. We are analyzing this post fact, after the fact. If this guy is already planning all that and we're realizing it now, what else is in the scheme already that we don't know? Ours is just coming to analyze it after. So it's a political, listen, we're all talking about politics. Impeachment as well is a political process. Impeachment, I've had a lot of things going around. Yeah, he's unfit to hold office, Okay, let's go back to the constitution. What does unfit to hold office means? Yeah, unsound mind, incapacitation, bankruptcy, and all that. That is the unfitness. Ours is basically our own expectation of the fitness of a presidency. Basically, we are taking our own standards for that. So it's not really a barometer. Yeah. So when we have everyone say he's unfit to hold office, actually the constitution doesn't even understand what we are saying. We're just making our own moral standards out of the entire exercise. To cut the long story short, yeah, it is going to be a marathon. Yeah, it is going to be a marathon. If you are looking for quick fixes, and I keep always saying this, we are in for a very big disappointment. But can we make sure we keep the conversation going? Yeah, let's keep the conversation going, because I don't know if it's a book I read or something I heard from someone. The person who plants the tree might never get to enjoy the shade of that tree, and probably that is going to be it. Yeah, keep planting that seed. Probably you'll never enjoy the fruit, or either even sit down below the shade on a sunny day. Yeah, so that is going to be the rallying call. Keep going at it, but if you are not doing anything on the low level of governance, yeah, we are just looking for content on the top side, because change, there's no way you'll have a good president in a very terrible system down the stream. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, at least in my opinion. I think we should be building this thing from the bottom, going up. Fix the top and fix the bottom at the same time. Don't fix the top and leave the bottom where it is, because these people at the bottom eventually will get to that top again, and then it will come back to the same thing. It's like, your weeds are uprooted from the root. You don't cut the weed. If you have weeds on your farm, you don't go pruning them with a slasher, because what happens again? They grow back. So you have to uproot them from the roots. And what is the roots? Where do these politicians eventually start from, and where do they end up? They start from the grassroots and they end up at the national level. If we cannot manage, and it's not listen, it doesn't have to be a clean soup. Yeah, but let's have a good pool down there. And we all know, okay, I think we have some sensible people here who can push this, who can push that, who can push this, who can push that. By the time we get into the next 10, 15, 5, whatever number of years, probably we get to see it in our generation. We love this country. We're speaking about it right now. You want a quick fix today? We will fix it. We are not a quick fix. We fixed with Kibaki, right? Moi must go. Moi went. We had a beautiful economy was growing. We had indicators, blah, blah, blah. But he didn't even last 5 years. And it was, again, 41 against 1 already, right? Kibaki was to go out in 2007, straight off. Why? Because the pool we had down there wasn't reasoning with what he was reasoning, because it was good. It was a good tool to get rid of Moi. Perfect. But what happened again? We went back down. So Ruto will get out. We'll get a very good president. He will go. We go back again. Just going to be, you remember the wave in physics? Yeah, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, and that is going to be. Thank you, Pipi.
All right. Thank you so much, Kirer Pat. I think I'm gonna take only one last submission. I think Japonj has already made the submission. Western has already made the submission. Dr. Morpho, Bensology, and then Ras G. Those are going to be my last three speakers. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing, of course, I've been doing that as my clarion call for the past 2 hours. Mwingie pale hivi kwenye tip jar line and support me. Mniwekee hata zauba ya kufika kwenye ninaenda safari jamani. Dr. Morpho.
Thank you, Pepita. Pepita,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes.
Thank you. Pepita, I am more convinced than ever before that the complexity of a human being, it is one intricate aspect that will take a long time to understand. I am disheartened. And the reason is because it is already absolutely unequivocal that our submissiveness to despondency, it is irreparable. It is indefendable. And unfortunately, we have already set the trend in which we want to see ourselves go down the road. The resistance for change is not extrinsic. It is oozing from within. And unfortunately, I am not seeing any change in how we look at things from now going forward. And I therefore say, perhaps we'll suffer for longer than I thought. The reason I'm saying this is because when you looked at what happened yesterday, for me, the underbelly for Mr. William Ruto has been exposed. It does not matter who has done it. It does not matter how it has happened. But for me, I don't think it should be business as usual. And my anticipation is there will be drastic response by Kenyans and how they look at things. Unfortunately, what is playing out here is quite contrary. Pepita, there are no questions that when this regime came to power, one of the things it's promised to do was, in their own words, subsidize production as compared to consumption. And how they define this, they said that Kenya is reliant more on agriculture than any other factor of economy. And we had the hula baloo with the subsidy on fertilizers, and we had withdrawal of subsidy on things like gas and these kind of things. But by the end of the day, for us to use the amount of energy and charisma that I've observed here to convince us there was no adulteration of the fertilizers, and therefore, what Rigathi Gachagua is telling us is a lie, it is puzzling. I said that perhaps we never expected something different from Rigathi Gachagua. But perhaps the intensity at which we analyze the mismanagement of the economy, the ruining of the economy, the corruption that is happening in this nation, I thought we'd look at it differently. I don't know if, for example, we would change the way we look at things, for example, when the closest of all to Mr. William Ruto comes and tells us, you know what, for the longest time, me as Rachel, I spent time with William Ruto, and I think he's not the person I got married to. And therefore, Pipita, it is unfortunate. We shall continue discussing as much as we continue observing. And I am as frustrated as that tutor or professor who'd walk in class, spend a whole semester teaching a subject to a class and hoping that all of them are concentrating and listening to him. And when the examination comes, 5% get an A, 3% get B, 70% get C and E, and you wonder, has he been talking the same thing to the same people? Ladies and gentlemen, wish you all the best. And I hope that we rejuvenate our optimism and our clamor for change, because Kenya change is reliant on us. The decision we take today, unfortunately, good as they are, we might not live long to enjoy. Bad as they might appear, we might not live long to be remorseful about. Let's ask ourselves, where are we leaving our children? Are we making it better than we found it? Thank you, Pipita, and I wish you all the best during your holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mo, for that. I see Ras G is here with us. Ras G, maybe you can make your submission, as you call it, at night.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. I knew very well, even when you're on holiday, I knew very well you will log in. I don't know why. I was very, 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 very sure. I know mchana tuliongea ukasema. But anyway.
Today is the last day, bwana wewe. Acha siasa mingi. Sema today is the last day of the show. Yeah, bro.
Anyway, I'm glad to see my many friends around, and Wamunyoro did talk yesterday, and I'm glad. I wanted to speak because Japunyi was here, and since we have been talking with Japunyi on the background on how the politics of Embakasi are going to be in future. But let me concentrate on what Wamunyoro said yesterday. And I know many might not subscribe to the politics of Wamunyoro, the Giji, especially for us who are in Azimio when we defeated William Ruto and our victory got stolen. And as usual, we ended in the streets. And one of the person who was given the mantle and to run the security apparatus of this nation and to reign on us was none other than Wamunyoro. But then again, we find ourselves in a very interesting period as a country in terms of politics, leadership, governance, and stuff. But there are times it comes at times when Kenyans, unajua tumefanya mengi. And this one I'm telling you, Pipita and Japoni, that kulingana mahali tumefika na kulingana mahali penye viongozi wetu wamefika, wanaharakati wamefika, the systems of this country, the current administration is so hardened, kichwa pia ni ngumu, kichwa imefura, and this is a good example of when power gets to your head. You see, mahali pe tumefika, Pipita, it is no big deal when 10 billion, you know, kitambo bilioni moja, nakumbuka kuna wakati budget ingesomwa, yeah? Tuanze kusikia ati kuna ministry, yeah? Ama usikie ati budget inataka kufikisha trilioni, then but nowadays looting a trillion, looting a billion is no big deal to this administration and to the friends, cronies of William Ruto. So Mimi, I'm afraid, first of all, psychologically, the whole nation is sick. We are sick as a nation. We are sick. We are used to saying, I don't know, tulifika mahali tukakuwa used to saying Ruto must go. To them, it has become just a song. They're not doing anything about it. I think the moment when Wakina Joho got into government and they branded us as online workers and stuff, tukafika pale. Na mimi kulingana na mahali na kulingana na ile uwezo na ile siasa tumepiga hapa online na ile muda mfupi ama mrefu nimeinteract with these politicians, it is my conclusion that we are going to do very little because the current presidency does not believe in building, constructing, and strengthening institutions in this country. The reason why I'm saying that is William Ruto is one of the people who opposed the current constitution that govern our country. And he has no business respecting it. Sijui kama ni ndoto nilikuwa nayo Pipita ama ni nini, but I am asking God to bring back the spirit that was there in June. The reason why I'm saying that is ni kama mahali penye tumefika, siasa imekuwa a business enterprise. Speaking of what Wamunyoro was saying, hearing from what Muturi was saying, checking on what William Ruto is doing politically. When he goes to Nyanza, he tells them this narrative. When he goes to the coast, he introduces another narrative and stuff. It's region, kila mahali. Then you sit down and come to realize we are dealing with a caliber of a politician and a group of politicians who know very well that they cannot relinquish power. And in the event they relinquish power, because they are not ready to relinquish power through the ballot. When we talk of an individual who is ready to hang out with warlords in the region, even has the guts of Wamunyoro exposing this yesterday, and today he hangs out with a warlord who has been sanctioned by the European Union.
1 minute.
Yes.
1 minute. Rasji, I'm not. Rasji, I want you to land in a minute, man. We are over time, and of course, I need to run somewhere.
Okay. Now, wacha nirahisishe trip ya Pepita. Kulingana vile mimi najaribu kusema kama Mungu anaweza tusaidia. Tukarudishio ule msisimuko ambao tulikuwa nao wakati wa June. Kwa sababu idara zote hata haya inaitwaje, the current interviews that are going at the IEBC, all those are games that have already been prepared. The system already knows who is going to put them, whom they are going to put there. Currently, our judiciary is so much crippled, it can do very little to the executive. And we are dealing with a head of state that knows very well that the amount of billions he has looted, he can compromise anything at sight. So what I'm trying to say, ni sisi turudishiwe, tuwache kuogopa, Mungu atupee tena energy, we go back to the street, and the only language that this government can listen, because it is not a government, the only thing that the political class can listen, because these are brothers, they only exchange forests, they only migrate from one forest to another. But our protest in June showed that we can threaten them as an empire. And that is the spirit that I always kneel down in the morning, in the evening, to pray God that he gives us back the energy that we had then, so that we can go to the streets with a lot of energy, without fear, to remove and uproot this regime. That was always my prayer. Thank you, Pipi, and enjoy your holiday.
Asante sana Rasji, of course, for that very hearty and powerful submission. Watch and wake a jingle.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Welcome, Home Run with Pipi.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Home Run with Pipi. It is a show that has been coming to you for the past 1 year and 8 months. And Kedo, we are headed to 2 years since I started this program in July of 2023. But I had scheduled myself to take a short leave in July. And then I realized that it is a lie. I am not going to take any leave in July. So I had an opportunity to take a family trip, and I decided that is going to be my holiday. So starting today up until 28th of April, Home Run People will be taking a break. That is, I will be taking a break so that I can reset my brain. It has been a quite high pressure kind of situations ever since June 25th. I have tried so much to stay online, but there's always that mental break, and of course my breaking point seems to be very close, so I decided it's also good for me to take some break out. So having said that, I will be out for that long, but you can also reach out to me anytime via DM to talk to me. And of course, my show is supported by you, the listener. I keep on saying that. And of course, part of the reasons why I have to go on an early trip is because of financial constraints. Kwa hivyo, kama unapenda kazi yangu, unaingia pale hivi juu kwenye tip ja line yangu kila time and any time you listen to this show and support my cause, because it's not an easy cause, as you guys know. Staying online, maintaining the consistency, and of course, trying to keep the conversation as fresh as possible. It's quite a lot. So I'd like to just say thank you so much for everybody who finds time to listen in, everybody who has supported me all the way from the time that we started these conversations back then, wale to join after the maandamano, wale to join this year, and everybody who has kept on joining this family. Home Run with PP family is quite a big family, I believe. And I saw guys who have left, wale walienda na wakarudi, wale wamepotea wakakuja. and we also, of course, take everybody back. So thank you so much for everybody who comes here to this space also to speak. Nimesikia kwamba we are one of those spaces that you get enough decorum and people don't abuse each other. And that is how I intend to maintain these spaces. So when I return, we continue the march towards 2 years of Home Run with PP. If it wasn't for Home Run with PP, I would have been 2 years jobless. So I don't take Home Run PP for granted. And of course, I don't take you listeners for granted. So having said that, I just want to wish you all the best. Of course, a happy Easter in advance, I know, for those who are of the Christian denomination. And of course, we will see each other when we can. Yes. Wish me luck. And of course, kama kawaida, nimependa tu kuambia, let's stay positive and of course, don't give up on our country, because if you give up on our country, what will you leave for our kids? Bye-bye and be safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, join Home Run with PP every weekday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on X Spaces. Home Run with PP, the home of your most valuable social conversations.